the right time in the wrong place. We unsafe. 151 with no chase and no ice. Take away your life like 3 strikes. Yeah. Come on, chamber music. Fragile physique, accomplish more one day than you can do in a week. The X-Man, Wolverine, one swing to make the cut clean.
Okay, guys, so there we go. Got all that out the way. Yeah, we're gonna be reviewing X-Men Messiah Complex. This covers what issue does this cover, Adonis?
Let's see. We got Messiah Complex, the one shot, Uncanny X-Men 492, 494, X-Men 205 to 207, New X-Men 44 to 66, and X Factor 25 to 27.
Okay, so we'll start off with we'll explain a synopsis, give a few thoughts, like spoiler free, and then we'll get into the spoilers and into details of the story, what we liked and didn't like.
Alright.
Okay, so this basically, it's a play. It starts off as a play on kind of like it's called the Messiah Complex, so it's kind of a story of the second coming of
Like the mutant Christ.
goes into full out X-Men stuff after. But yeah, so it's a child is born, the mutants. You know that whole thing at House of M that happened? There's very little mutants left, I think under 200. And it's the first mutant birth in a long time. So a lot of people think it's the next Messiah. A lot of people think it's the Antichrist. So they're going around killing like a lot of children everywhere in hopes that, one of these is going to be the mutant. So we're just killing all newborns in the hospitals. So it's very like some deep stuff right there at first, and it's very reminiscent of stuff that happened in the Bible. Then that changes after. What did you think about the characters and so forth?
What do you mean by that?
Like to me, for example, I really saw a lot of change in Cyclops, and it changed little by little. You saw his character growth. Like he was doing stuff that I haven't seen him do before. Like he was questioning Professor X, and
Yeah,
he's becoming his own man.
Exactly. He definitely had to step up and make a change in his own personality, because this is a big deal. This is his people that are being that we're all just he lost most of his people, and this is like his one hope. So he's putting all his cards on this baby. So I kind of understand why he all of a sudden becomes like this hard ass,
Yeah.
He questions Professor X. He's more of instead of being like the leader that brings him into battle, he's more like the tactician. So he's like the general that stands back and says, "Okay, Wolverine, go here, go there. We need you in this place."
So that was like, to me, like, wow, like he's questioning Professor X and stuff. It got to the point where he almost basically told him, like, you know what, just leave the X-Men, you're in my way. Like, he didn't say it like that, but it came off that way. Like,
yeah, and I think that's one of the, there's like not really spoilers considering this story is over 10 years old, but that was like one of the cool moments for me in this book. It's like, I just pulled it up right here. He says something like, "Charles, you trained me, let me do my job." So that's like his growing up. I don't know.
like the torch.
Basically, it's just, he's not even like waiting for Professor X to pass the torch. He's just taking it and saying, "Okay."
Yeah, he's just taking it and running with it. Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing there. That was a good scene. It showed the big change in Cyclops. You kind of saw it slowly building up to that, but when it happened, you're like, "Well, he went there." Like,
I mean, it's cool seeing his character development starting from like New X-Men and for Grant Morrison's New X-Men.
mm-hmm.
That's when he was still like under Professor X's wing, and he's very compliant, and then he just starts, losing Jean Grey. He kind of like, he's like off the shits now.
Oh, well, forget this show is being brought to you by Mike's Hard Lemonade is our sponsor. Try it out. Now you have to try it because it has Deadpool on the can. So yeah, definitely check that out.
I might pick some more too. If that's Deadpool on the can, why not?
Yeah, it's two for $2 right now, I think. So it can't beat that price. Yeah. So that was a big change for me. Was the whole thing that Cyclops was doing. And another big reveal, because the last X-Men I read storyline was like in the 90s, the Eve of Destruction. So there's been a lot of changes since then and here. I totally skipped from the Eve of Destruction to this. So here you have a lot of new X-Men characters, a lot of new youngsters. And they seem here they were definitely not just in the background. They had a little story to them too, but they were not in the main battlefield with the shits going down. They were like a little side story holding down the fort at the mansion while the rest of the X-Men were out in the battlefield. And I thought these characters for these 14 issues or so, they were pretty cool. It made me want to know more about them and go back and read the previous stuff to see how they showed up.
Yeah. Most of them you can see like in Grant Morrison's X-Men. Like most of this time period begins with Grant Morrison. So it's cool. You see Armor for the first time, and he also introduces the girl that turns into sand. Is her name Sand?
Dust.
Dust. Yeah, that's her name.
Yeah, she's a cool character. I enjoyed her. I like Dust, and of course X-23.
Of course, X-23. She's badass. One of the biggest things. One of the biggest problems for me with is it New Mutants? Yeah. Yeah, new X-Men. Like the biggest problem with New X-Men for me was the Humberto Ramos art.
You didn't enjoy it?
I did not enjoy it. It took me way out of the story, man. Like, you have panels like this. I'm comparing the two. So you have Mark Silvestri killing it, and then spoilers for whoever's watching because this is a big part of the story. You've been warned. Spoilers. Yeah. And then
we'll get to much in a minute.
You have Humberto Ramos, like, just, it looks like a cartoon,
I feel the opposite.
Really?
I like Mark Silvestri as an artist, but I felt in this, his art was very stale. It was definitely more realistic, more comic booky, but it was, like, very stale. The movement and stuff was just throwing me off. Like, I was like, he's not moving the action how it should flow. And when we got to the Ramos art, I'm not a big fan of that cartoony art either, but I felt it brought a lot more energy, and the action just popped off when he was drawing it, as opposed to when Silvestri was drawing it. The movements, the fight scenes, I feel like he brought a lot more energy, the facial expressions, and Silvestri's, there would be fight scenes, and they're all just making the same face, like very plain. And on his, they're like opening their mouths and they're like, there's a lot of energy in it. The fight scenes just seemed more dynamic to me when it was his art, as opposed to the Silvestri, where it felt like they're just posing, like more like he should draw covers.
He should draw cars, especially because his lines are so refined.
Yeah,
his line work is really nice.
The art style is, I like his art style, but I feel like it's more for like covers or cards, because in the fight scenes and stuff, when the movements, it feels a little stiff. I had that same problem with Alex Ross, where I like his art in covers and so forth, but I don't like the way it tells a story, the way it moves. It doesn't flow with me, like it feels too stale.
See, my problem with the Ramos stuff was that it just felt like, for a very serious story, it felt like...
It's definitely cartoony, definitely.
Yeah, like it definitely just didn't flow with the story for me. I'm not saying it's bad, it just took me out.
Okay, one more thing I want to say here. We're already about to dive into the spoiler territory, so we're gonna go by the story. I'm gonna flip through pages with you too. Great X-Men stories, you know what to expect from your X-Men. This is it right here. There's definitely a lot of very X-Men style book. This is how they should be done all the time, basically.
I heard that this is like the best it's been since like the 2000s. You know what I mean? Like after this era after Bendis takes over, that's when all starts to go downhill, right?
Okay, this is from 2007. So the last X-Men I read was from around 98. So I don't know what happens from 98, 99, leading up to this. I'm kind of still blind on the era of X-Men.
All right.
Yeah, but I know Bendis stuff. I have read some of Bendis stuff in singles, and I did not enjoy it, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I was like, this is not really X-Men. It's just something different that he's going for here. A lot more just characters chatting it up and stuff, which is fine. I like it on other books. But on X-Men, I like some chatting, but I also want a lot of not just chatting. I want drama and I want shit going down. Like also if they're gonna be talking, they gotta be complaining about shit. Like about their lives and their relationships.
like Claremont causing up stirring up all the drama.
Yeah, exactly. That's what the X-Men I'm about right there. Is Claremont. Okay, so now that you guys got a brief understanding of what's going down in this story and so forth, we're gonna get into spoilers now, and we'll go issue by issue, I guess. Spend about 2-3 minutes on issues or whatever as we flip through them. Feel free to chime in on the comment section or on the chat. Okay, so the first issue is a one-shot of Side Complex. Okay, so the one-shot starts off with they're just flying with the Blackbird and big battle just went down, right? With the Purifiers.
Yep.
The Purifiers and the Marauders. So right off the bat, I'm like, okay, so we're introduced to X-Men villains I'm familiar with, even though I've missed the previous 8 years of X-Men. So they're both battling each other in search for this child, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of already pretty much know when it comes to the child and all that. And then the Marauders are here. Mr. Sinister is going to be involved. Because for people that are not familiar with Mr. Sinister, he's trying to find whenever Jean Grey and Cyclops have a child, because he thinks that child will be the perfect specimen, the perfect most powerful mutant or something like that, right? And he thinks he could use that DNA to turn that kid into like a weapon, and he can overthrow Apocalypse. Because for the longest, he was always kind of like Apocalypse right-hand man, but he was basically Kobe Apocalypse with Shaq, and he wanted to be the man, so he wanted... so he wanted a way to get rid of Apocalypse. So what you think about this scene right here? I thought it was pretty gruesome and pretty dark. The colors and stuff do a good job of showing you the tone.
Yeah, because they have like the red lights inside the what's it called?
The Blackbird?
The Blackbird. Yeah. So they have like red lights inside, so all the tones are super red, and you're about to get into some really deep shit because there's fires, there's women and children dead.
Yes,
in this little town.
Yeah, that definitely threw me out right here. You see all the fires going down, and they're looking for survivors, and you see a lot of Marauders and Purifiers just dead right there. I was like, right away, right from the beginning, it's already shit already popped off. There's a lot of like a massacre right here. There's all kinds of dead bodies, and the X-Men are just trying to figure out what happened. And I think Wolverine said something like that they're late to the party, like everybody already killed each other. And you see right here, I was tripping out that there's like even a bunch of dead kids. I was like, wow, well, this is crazy. Like there's a bunch of dead children, and they figure out this is where they find out they think they went to kill all the children in hopes that one of them's the new mutant born, and hopefully they got him. I was like, wow, like this is deep stuff right here. Then they have a big cross, the Purifiers, kind of like the Templar Knights.
Yeah.
So it definitely gives you that whole like they're looking for Christ type of feel to it.
For the Antichrist.
Yeah, looking for the Christ or Antichrist, depending on what side of the on what you believe in the story. And Gambit's here, and now he's a villain. The last time I read Gambit, he was a good guy, but he was hinting at that he had a past with the Marauders. He's already with the Marauders, but he's not technically all bad. Like, he's doing things for his own selfish reasons, but his reasons are not necessarily bad reasons. Does that make sense?
Yeah, he looks like just reading him here, it felt like almost like he was conflicted on what he was doing with the Marauders.
Yeah, I agree. I think he was only working with them because he needed their help to get what he wanted done.
Basically.
Yeah, so he's kind of using them to get it to further his agenda. And we have this monster here. What is it? Predator X, I believe is his name.
Yeah, I had never seen him before this. I'm assuming this is like the first time he's been in this.
Yeah, this is the first time I've seen him too. The hint that he came out in a previous arc, that he was made in the same lab X-23 was made. That's what they said. They go, he's coming from the same people made him.
Okay.
And his story is kind of okay. Now we're getting to the second part, which is he just comes out on the last page. So then now we're getting to the second part, Uncanny X-Men 492. He's kind of he's not really a big part of the story. I feel like he's just there for to give the children, the new mutants, something to do.
What up?
What about what you think about where they went with Madrox here? With Multiple Man?
Yeah, I thought that was really cool how they like I know that his power is like he makes clones, they go, they do their own thing, and then when he brings them back, he has all their memories, and if anything happens to the clones, it also happens to him. So I thought it was really cool that they decided, hey, let's throw your multiple people into the future and see what happens.
I enjoy
I really like that.
creative. I seen Mad Rox around for a long time, and I never seen that done with him.
Mm-hmm.
That one of his multiple characters has been in a different universe or timeline. I haven't seen it before. I thought it was cool. It was a neat idea. But what happens here when that happens? The Mad Rox in this universe and this timeline ends up like in some type of coma or something.
I feel like that makes sense. Like you probably pass out too if like part of your consciousness went into the future. I don't know. It's just something.
Your brain is somewhere else.
Exactly. I feel like it had to happen.
Really cool that they use Mad Rox because I think he gets underutilized a lot. Like I think he should be used a lot more.
One of my buddies was reading. I think it was X Factor, the X Factor that leads up to Messiah Complex. I think that's because he's an X Factor, right?
Yeah, he's an X Factor team.
Yeah, we were just kind of like chatting about what happens in it, and Mad Rox is a big player in that X Factor run, to the point where like his clones do things to fuck him over all the time. Like he has a girlfriend, but one of his clones sleeps with another girl, and then it's like the clone comes back, yeah, and he gets in trouble for it. So it's like, you can really use Mad Rox as a comical character, but also as like just a very serious character.
Yes. So he doesn't have full control of what his clones do then.
No, not at all. His clones are like their own person basically.
They're their own person. Okay. And what's that little girl's name that leads with Mad Rox to another timeline?
I've never seen her before. I know I'm not too familiar with X history, but
yeah, her name is Layla.
and she just kind of like she wasn't meant to go. She just tackles them and disappears.
She threw other people in there, but they concentrated for the most part on the main people they wanted to concentrate on and get focused on what they're doing.
Yeah, anymore. Like you said, it didn't feel convoluted. Like X-Men has become like synonymous with cheesy time travel, other universe kind of shit. But it didn't feel like that at all. It just felt like, okay, it makes sense that they're going into the future because I don't know. I kind of wish I had known. I hadn't known that Cable had the baby. Well, we were into spoilers from. Yeah, we just into spoilers.
But yeah, when everybody's fighting over this baby, they think the Marauders got it. The Marauders think the Purifiers killed it.
And then
X-Men don't know who got it. They think it's Mr. Sinister.
Mr. Sinister. Everyone realizes that at one point, Mr. Sinister is like, "Wait, this makes so much sense. The X-Men don't have the baby," and he like starts. So I thought that was like very. Yeah, it's like really obvious, but it's such a sinister Mr. Sinister thing to like.
Yeah, that was definitely. Yeah, nobody knows anything. Everybody's just as blind. Everybody's walking in blind everywhere, just like the X-Men are. We're just playing a guessing game. Exactly. Kind of clear things up. Like, okay, so nobody really has it. And Cable pops up, and he's holding the baby, and you're like, oh shit! Like Cable's up in here, right? And not only is he here, but he got to the party before anybody did. He was ahead of everybody because since he's coming from the future, he knew how to get there right before everybody else showed up and had this battle.
And it's like such a bad way to reintroduce him too. I'm trying to find the right page because like this whole issue of X-Men, it starts off with Mad Rox and Layla in the future, and then it snaps back in time to like Scott trying to negotiate with Bishop, and Bishop's also being mad fishy.
Once we get this established, Cable has the child, and what do you think about the whole thing with Bishop there?
I think he was being an ass the entire time. It pissed me off.
Bishop's always kind of like you never know what's going on with him because he's from the future, so you never know what his motives are or why. And it did a good job explaining why he's doing the things he's doing because he's coming from the future, and in the future, mutants were almost extinct, and everything was fine. He was happy with that. That way, people didn't care what mutants is because there's so little bit of them. They're not even like important.
Yeah, they were
once
just in that camp.
Once the new mutant came and repopulated the mutant population, all the racism towards mutants and everything started all over again. And he was like, if it didn't happen, we could have just gone around about our lives normally.
It was in I guess something important did happen in Endangered Species. So he took Beast to Mutant Town, remember?
Yeah, to the like. It looks like downtown LA, sort of like where they're selling drugs and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's just like where the very few mutants are left and shit, and then they have like that drug that gives regular people mutant powers.
Yeah.
One of the things he said to Beast was, "You need to stop worrying because this is the future that I'm from. This isn't even like important anymore. There's gonna be more mutants. There's gonna be more mutants." So he was like. So, already they were laying the foundation of things are going to go back to the status quo. Suddenly he realizes that he told Beast everything's going to be okay, there's going to be more mutants, and now he's understanding why there's going to be more mutants. But now that he's living through it, he realizes, holy shit, like, I can make a change. And it's actually kind of sad. Like, yeah, he was being an ass, but it's sad because this dude realizes that what he really wants is to not have been born at all.
Yeah, but it does throw a nice twist there because you didn't see it coming. You're like, oh shit, that panel where it just shows Bishop knocking out Cable, and after he knocks him out, he's just holding, yeah, he's just holding the gun. I was like, oh shit, that's Bishop, and it's like, wow, he's a bad guy now. That definitely threw me off. So as far as shock value and stuff, it definitely worked for that reason.
It was a good kind of shock value because, it's like, obviously we live in a society where it's like, all right, protect babies at all costs for the most part.
Yeah, because they still have they haven't done anything.
Exactly. And so, when you see a grown man pointing a gun at a baby, it's just like, holy shit. Like, this guy's actually like a piece of shit. But but when you analyze like what he's thinking and what's going through his head, it's actually kind of like, you get to meet Bishop as a kid through Mad Rox's eyes when he's in the future, and this kid is just like, he's miserable. He's just like this like skinny little kid. He's living as basically like a slave, you could say.
Yeah, it's like living like in a prison.
Exactly, like a mutant concentration camp, which is like, that sucks to be a kid. But I was trying to relate it to without actually saying it, but I don't think there's a way to not say it. It's like how Nazis would treat Jews.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely. That's definitely basically what a big part of what X-Men are. Yeah. Is the storyline with the Jews and the Nazis. They throw other little stuff in there once in a while, but that's the type of future Bishop comes from, where it's all bad. Like, it's all worst case scenario situations. Very much like the Terminator movies.
Exactly. So
explain how they get the M tattoo for mutants, how Bishop got it. It explains how they all mutants get that tattoo so they could track them down. So that way you could identify them. They can't lie about what they are because it's written on their face. Much like how they did the Jews, they used to mark them on their. If you see Magneto, he has marks on his forearm.
They have the it's like the number.
Yeah, the number. So it's basically it's definitely the same thing right there. So now we know why Bishop has it and what it's for. It's to not just to identify them, but they could somehow track them when they have that.
Exactly.
Yeah, so there's some background into the future that Bishop's coming from. And if it's your first X-Men book, it definitely explains a lot about the mythos of X-Men, like what this future is and who these characters are. It gives you a decent understanding of everything.
Yeah, and it's like, when they're Mad Rox and Layla go into like the concentration camp. I don't know if I should be even saying that, but they go into this terrible future where they're in the jail with a child version of Bishop, and they both actually end up getting the same tattoo that Bishop does, like his famous like M tattoo. And it's we talked about how Mad Rox, when he splits up and his clones come back to him, he can remember everything that they do. but the things that happened to them also happened to him. So when he finally wakes up, he wakes up and he actually has the same tattoo as Bishop, which I think is like, I think that's one of the cooler things is like.
Yeah, when he woke up and that tattoo passed from his clone to him.
Exactly.
Yeah, so now, is he gonna have it in the future for the future story arcs, or how is that gonna work?
I'm sure, like, I mean, we're talking about people that can travel through time. I'm sure they can take a tattoo off.
All those Sentinels are, like, they're securing the mansion, but they don't attack, so Sentinels are not really bad at this point.
In the future?
No, when they're in the regular timeline. In the regular X-Men timeline, it seems like the Sentinels are not bad guys. Like, they're controlled by humans, and they're just in front of the mansion, like, keeping an eye that mutants aren't doing anything bad. But as long as they're just going about their normal lives, they don't attack them.
No, the Sentinels did attack, didn't they?
Yeah, but after. At first, they were not attacking until somebody and hacked it. Yeah, so at first I was like, whatever. So they just stand here and check out that everything's going according, kind of like security.
And they thought that it was Cable. Remember, at one point.
Everybody assumed who would have that technology. They said Cable. So everybody blames Cable now that he's the villain. Really, it's Bishop, but everybody thinks it's Cable. And what's it called? And Cable, it wasn't Cable, but even he doesn't know they're blaming him for this, which I thought was out of character for Cable too. I was like, Cable wouldn't, before they explained it was Cable, I was like, he wouldn't hack these Sentinels. And I think one of the X-Men, a few of the X-Men got killed here in the mansion. I was like, he wouldn't kill mutants and do all this just to kidnap a child. But it makes no sense he would hack the X-Men mansion.
Maybe make people think that he's gone off, he's doing things he normally wouldn't do, because who knows what's going on in the future.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, I'll have to read some of the previous story arcs to why they would assume Cable would do that, would be this vicious towards them.
Yeah,
because I was like, Cable's done little shady stuff, but he's never attacked just any random X-Men. If he comes from the future, he might attack one specific X-Men, and you have a reason to do it, something that person did in the future or whatever. But he would never just attack random whichever ones.
Yeah, because he's from further in the future than Bishop, right?
Yeah, Bishop's from like 80 years, 100 years in the future. Cable's from like thousands of years. I believe it's like, I don't know if thousands, but it's like hundreds and hundreds. It's, because when he was born, he was sent to the future by
Cyclops.
By Cyclops. I have to read the story. I haven't read it. I have it there too, but I have to read it to see exactly what happened. But I know he was sent to the future, and this is very reminiscent of the same thing. Like, did you see when Cyclops? I like that part. They changed the colors. They're all kind of like sepia type colors, and Cyclops is remembering.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking about.
I really like that part. It really. They showed the writers here. They're fans. What is it? Chris Jones? Yeah, it's Ed Brubaker. Plus half the issues, and does the other half. Kyle and Chris Jones would do the other half. So it shows, they're giving a little nod to the continuity and to the past, and kind of retelling a similar story. And it's kind of the same thing all over, but now we come full circle, and now it's Cable doing it to the new kid. And you have Cyclops reminiscing about, like, he's been in Cable's shoes before. He went through this.
I'm trying to find it. That's right. So it's just, you just see him like reminiscing of what it was like when I don't know who the girl is, but the girl that takes baby Cable into the future.
But yeah, I'm not too familiar with, because there's like little miniseries that they go back and explain that stuff, and I haven't read those.
There's just so much X-Men continuity.
Yeah, definitely. It's not if you're familiar with the characters, you can hop in anywhere, and it doesn't make that big a difference.
Yeah.
But if you're just new to comics in general, I don't know if you would start with X-Men, because there's so much like referencing and changing of timelines and all this other stuff. They constantly change canon, so it can be a little confusing. But if you're just cool with the characters and you don't care about canon, you should be fine. Like, I don't make that big a deal about it, especially because I like X-Men and it's constantly changing.
Exactly. And not only that, when you actually like want to read this, I don't know, there's like this weird, especially like in the groups that we're a part of, there's like this like everybody wants to know every little detail about everything in a comic book.
Mhm.
And I'm not here to tell anybody how to read or how to enjoy their comics. But when I started reading comics, I literally would pick up a trade and I would read it through and I would think, oh, okay, that's cool. Either I want to know what comes next or I want to know what came before. But I just don't think that. I think that a lot of these books can be jumped right into, and yeah, you'll be a little bit confused, but you just keep pushing through it, and like you'll get a story. You just enjoy Messiah Complex for what it is because it's a great story, and if, you know.
Yeah. This book changes a lot of stuff that's coming in the future. You develop a new team of X-Force. You change Cyclops into something else, and now you bring Cable back. So a lot of things go down right here in this book. I think it's definitely like if you wanna read X-Men, but you don't wanna read every single book, this is one of the ones you don't skip though. There's a lot of important things happen here.
Definitely do not skip this. Definitely. I feel like don't skip like most of the events of this era. I'm trying to think of, don't skip House of M. House of M sets up the status quo for years. Don't skip Astonishing X-Men just because Joss Whedon is so good. Get on your computer, read some Marvel Unlimited because this is stuff that should be read. This is good comics right here.
Yeah, I agree. Look at this cover on to issue New X-Men 45. This is part 8, chapter 8 of the book. Look at that cover by David Finch.
Mm-hmm.
And there's 23 and
Lady Deathstrike.
Lady Deathstrike. Her costume's a little different here. Look at, man, how many of us don't want to see that battle? This is more than Ramos Arto, but they were and I thought he killed it right here with this issue. This is the one where I was like, wow, I got the actions flowing like really good and stuff with his arts making it happen. A lot of people died here. Lady Deathstrike got get into this big battle with X-23, and X-23 got the better of her towards the end. She was losing the battle. It was a nice fight scene. All great fight scenes, you have the good at kind of losing half the battle, and then they make a comeback and win.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what happens here. That's always a good fight scene when they do that. And you don't want them just dominating from the start. Like where you have her bleeding on her way to lose, you think is she gonna get help from one of the other characters, but she wins on her own without any help. She comes back and lets her have it. And then Caliban, I knew right away when they added Caliban to the X-Force team, although he's just there to get killed. He's not anything. And that's sure enough what happens. He's just there and he just gets killed by the Reavers, or what do they call it, Reavers?
I think so.
He
Just gets shot.
Just because a lot of people are dying here and they're like almost showing like they know like nobody cares, we just keep the story going. But Cyclops says right here, he goes, we're at war right now, a lot of things are going down. We don't have time to mourn. And then during the course of the story, a few died, but not too many where it felt overkill. Like a few on each side.
Exactly. But yeah. Do you have any final thoughts about the book?
That ending was it's kind of weird the way it finished. It felt almost like unfinished.
Well, it was like a cliffhanger.
Yeah, it's a cliffhanger, exactly. Because I mean, these stories, of course, they never end. So, but yeah, it felt very like right when you thought you got a decent ending, then something big happens again, and you're like, oh, like what the hell?
They're sucking you back into the next event, which is Messiah.
Yeah, that's exactly
Messiah War.
Yeah, well, that was crazy, man.
We talked about earlier. I understand why it was Bishop and his motivations, and why to him this seemed like the best thing to do. But I also think that Mr. Sinister didn't get enough attention.
Yeah, he got killed right away because
like you have his face like on the very front cover, making it seem like he's the mastermind behind everything.
Yeah, it's misleading because he's not. He starts off as being a big part in the first few issues, then he just flounders off and it just becomes about something else.
Exactly.
But what do you think about that part too? That little twist there, how Mystique just kills Mr. Sinister. I was like, oh shit, she kills Mr. Sinister, and she becomes she's kind of like the mastermind, where she was just using Mr. Sinister for him to gather all these groups together to fight the X-Men, because she needed that backup. But she was just really pulling the strings the whole time. So as soon as she got everybody on her side, she just got rid of them. And she had another noble cause, same as Gambit. The only reason he was with the Marauders was because of Mystique, and Mystique was trying to save Rogue. So it showed Mystique, even though she's kind of a villain, she does care about Rogue.
Yeah.
And she wanted to save Rogue's life. That's why she wanted the kid for. And Gambit was there for the same reason. He's like, I'm doing all this stuff I'm against because I also care about Rogue and I want to save her. Okay, so Gambit's not completely villain. Like, oh, he's doing this to save Rogue, which he's always had a lot of love for.
Exactly.
And Mystique is doing it also because she's kind of usually villain, sometimes good guy, sometimes villain, but she's more. I like her more as a villain. And here she's doing it more for her own selfish reasons, but it's also noble causes to save her stepchild or whatever. So I thought that was, I like that moment. It showed that she's caring. She's not all bad. You know, she's a person, and she does have feelings for other people too.
Exactly.
Kind of made me feel bad for Mystique in a way, when I was like, oh, that's messed up.
But remember how earlier we brought up the was Predator X?
Yeah.
So one thing that we did forget about was he actually plays like a huge part in the end of Messiah Complex, because he actually attacks Cable and bites off Cable's arm. Remember?
Oh yeah, the Predator X, the dinosaur thing.
Yeah. He actually ends up attacking him and rips off his arm. And just as Cable's finally getting, permission from Cyclops to take the baby into the future, and, Cyclops is trusting him with, mutant-kind salvation, you see Bishop get up. His arm is, spewing blood, so, he's definitely been hurt. But he's not giving up, and, with one final, he tries one last time to try to shoot Cable before he goes into the future.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually a pretty big deal who he ends up shooting.
Yeah, if you had to give this what's it called, score, what would you give it? A 1 to 10 scale.
I'd say maybe an 8, because it definitely wasn't a perfect story, but it was still a really good story.
Yeah, I give it somewhere like a 8.5.
There you go. I think maybe I would have gotten more enjoyment out of it if I was reading all of Uncanny, all of X-Men, all of New X-Men, and all of X-Factor.
Alright guys, if you guys have read this before, you're familiar with the story arc, put your comments on the bottom. Definitely let us know what you thought, what you wish would have been a little different, and what you like in the text or whatever. And my next video, I'll let you know what next book we plan to review or whatever. So keep you updated. Also check out the links down below. Check out Omnibus Cafe. Check out my Twitter. Check out my Twitch and so forth. Also, if you want to check out Discord, check it out. It's a cool way to it's kind of like a messaging app, so you could keep in contact with everybody if you're a gamer. To make plans of when you plan on gaming together, what your schedules and so forth. So definitely check that out. Click on the Discord thing and get to know other people there. Recommend other people. Tell them to check it out. And you have any last words, Adonis?
Well, you can check out my YouTube channel as well. It's called This Might Sound Nerdy. It's all one word. We do regular reviews like this sometimes, hauls videos just like Jay does. Who knows? Maybe the next time we team up, it'll be on my channel. All right, so you can.
Yeah, I'll get their link and I'll post it on the description down below as well.
All right. So.
All right. So I guess that's all we got for you today. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll just check you guys out next time.